Everyone, today I want to talk about the initial detailing I did on the Raptor, the products I used, why I chose these products, and the order that I used them in. I specifically told the dealer not to dealer prep it, so it was extremely dirty when I got it home. I told them not to dealer prep because I didn't want them doing any additional damage to the wheels. So the first thing that I did when I was ready to detail was I used this new wheel cleaning product from Eagle One. Now this is touted as a wheel cleaner, but what this essentially is an iron remover. This has the same color changing formula on it that all iron removers on. This smells and works exactly like your very high-end iron removers, except it's not very expensive. Now, you would think how much iron is really going to be on the truck being it's brand new? Well, when they get transported initially from the factory, they go on a train. Now, trains have metal wheels and ride on metal rails, so that's metal on metal contact. And there ends up being sort of a small cloud of brake and metal dust that the cars are basically encased in as they go down the train tracks. So this did an excellent job. I put this on dry before I got the car wet, and there was quite a bit of iron on the truck, more than I was actually expecting when I sprayed this on. So I coated the truck in this. I let it sit for about a minute before I washed it off, and it made a considerable difference. Now, I washed it off. This is my power washer that I use specifically for cars. Now, for a long time, it was kind of taboo. You're not really supposed to use power washers on cars, but the electric ones really don't have nearly as much power as the gas ones do, so they are a lot safer, and it works a lot better for pushing a lot of the contaminants off. You have to be mindful that it does have quite a bit of power, but this thing actually works pretty well. I got this from Lowe's. I'm very impressed with it. It works. It's great for this, and I use this with my soap gun as well. Now, when it was time to, after I had hosed off all the iron remover and it was time to actually put some soap on the car and clean the rest of the contaminants off, I used dish soap for the initial cleaning. Now, before everybody jumps all over me and says, oh my God, you're not supposed to use dish soap, that's the wrong thing to use on a car. It depends on what you're doing, whether or not you use dish soap. Under normal conditions where you're doing your maintenance washes and just washing the car every week or however often you do it, you do want to use car wash soap. The problem with car wash soap is it has shampoos and conditioners in them. Now, when you're initially doing cleaning on a car and you want to put down that initial layer of protectant on it, whether it's sealant or a wax, you don't want to have other conditioners on there already, depending on what type of sealer or protectant you're using. What dish soap does is it completely strips any sort of sealants or waxes or conditioners or any sort of coatings that are on the car initially. It will pull those off. That's why you don't want to use dish soap on a normal basis. But when you want to start with a good baseline and do a very thorough cleaning, dish soap is much better to use. It's stronger. It's not going to hurt the car, but it is very strong, and it will pull any protectants off. So this is really good to use initially. Actually, a lot of detailing companies make special soaps that are different from your regular car wash soaps that are actually designed to do exactly what dishwash soap does, but it's just a lot more expensive, and they put fancy names on and stuff. But this is a good, strong degreaser that's going to pull all that garbage off and give you a clean slate to start with. Now, this is Amazon Soap Gun. I used the dishwash soap in the soap gun initially. Gave the car a nice coating with dishwash soap, which helped pull off all the iron remover after I had washed it off just with water. And then I used this in my buckets as well with a 2-bucket wash method. Now, after the truck was totally clean, dried off, and ready for protectants, I noticed there was actually quite a lot of swirls in the paint, more than I was expecting, considering that the truck had not been dealer prepped since I had got it, and really the only attention to the paint was at the factory. So I wanted to get all the swirls out before I put any sort of protective coatings on it. So this is Turtle Wax's new Hybrid Solutions line. This is their ceramic polish and wax. Now, for a long time, Turtle Wax had a reputation that nobody really cared about that company. They really didn't do anything special. They just had a lot of old school paste wax products. But in the last probably year or so, they've really started to become really a big talk in the detailing world. They started off with their Seal and Shine. That was a very, very popular product, and now they've gone above that with these ceramic infused line of products. So I use this with both a combination of a Porter Cable dual action polisher, and I did some of the small spots by hand, and this did an excellent job to get all the swirls and a lot of the imperfections that I found on the paint that I was actually really surprised the truck already had on them, and it gave the truck a beautiful, clean finish and took all those imperfections that were very noticeable out. So what's different about this is most polishes that have abrasives in them, they're sort of shaped like sand molecules. The molecules that actually do the cutting are like flat, like plates, so it's not nearly as aggressive. Initially, you really, depending on, it's more on what type of pad you use on your polisher. I was just using, like if you're using a cutting pad, a heavy or light cutting pad, I was just using a polishing pad. I didn't really want to go too nuts. The surface scratches weren't that bad, so I didn't want to go too aggressive and take too much clear coating off of it. So this did a great job. It got the truck ready for a final coat of protectant, which was Hybrid Solutions' new spray coating wax, or spray coating, ceramic spray coating. Now, this is one of the big talks of the detailing world right now. Everybody's really interested to see how this stuff performs. I'm very impressed with it so far. It went on very easily. Basically, what you do is you don't want to put too much on because you don't want to end up leaving streaks. So basically, I did the detailing process with my father. I sprayed this on, wiped the body with it, and he was basically right behind me with a dry microfiber wiping off any excess. So it goes on. It's, you don't have to wax it on like paste wax. It goes on very easily, and you just wipe any excess off immediately. It doesn't need any sort of time to dry or sit or anything like that. And it has sort of a mango smell to it, so it doesn't smell bad. I would just recommend wearing gloves with this stuff. I didn't wear gloves initially. You can kind of feel it on your fingers, but this is a really big talk in the detailing world right now. This whole Hybrid Solution lines, but specifically this ceramic spray coating is a lot of people are really interested in this stuff, and Turtle Wax seems to be really hitting a home run with this series of products. So once the truck was completely clean, wiped down, ready to go, I just finished it off with some 303 tire balm. This stuff is nice because you can adjust the level of shininess based on how many coats you put on. So far, I'm pretty impressed with this stuff. Went on very easily. It also has UV protection, so it's a nice product. And then as far as the tools that I actually used during the process, obviously just your microfiber mitts. I also have this microfiber. This is on a telescoping pole, so this is good to get some of the really hard to reach areas like on the roof. A detailing brush that I used to get for the tires, get in between the spokes because that was a little difficult. And then this is a tire swipe brush that I used the 303 with. And you should always use a 2-bucket wash method. This I just got from Auto Geek. It's got little casters on them so they roll around, and they have grit guards in them just to keep any contaminants isolated at the bottom of the bucket. And here is the end result. Take it out to the sun, let the camera adjust. The truck came out absolutely phenomenal. I got rid of all the paint imperfections, all the issues that were in it, all the iron is removed, all the surface contaminants that were there are gone, and the truck came out absolutely beautifully. So I started off with a nice clean slate. That ceramic spray coating and that bottle with the green on it is designed to last for up to a year depending on the conditions. And what's nice about that stuff is, unlike the Seal and Shine, which was part of their ice products, the ceramic can be layered. So you have to wait 24 hours to put a second layer on. But then it gives you an additional level of protection. So it seems like it's going to be a long-lasting product, especially since I keep the truck in the garage. It's not really going to damage it too quickly. But some of the big detailers on YouTube have done some tests with it, and they've shown that it holds up very well against even some very strong degreasers. It creates a lot of beading and does an excellent job protecting the vehicle, even in extreme conditions with various things like acid rain and other detergents that will typically deteriorate most polishes. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and this gives you an idea if you want to do a thorough detail of your vehicle. Thanks for watching.